On December 9, 2016, beneath the clear South African skies, a Piper PA-28 aircraft with the registration Zulu Sierra Oscar Whiskey Bravo made its way to its destination. Behind the controls is a 20-year-old pilot who had earned his private pilot license just 5 months prior and had accumulated a mere 100 hours of flight experience. The trip was not only significant for its destination but also for the deep bond shared among the passengers. Accompanying him were his 2 closest friends, with whom he had built countless memories since their school years. Their adventure was set to include a night at the charming Skukuza camp in the Kruger National Park. That morning, the pilot diligently filed 3 distinct flight plans with air traffic and navigation services. These plans detailed a journey from Rand Airport to Kruger International Airport, with a return trip set for the next day, all in compliance with visual flight rules. After a smooth 2-hour flight, they landed safely at Kruger International Airport, concluding their seamless flight. Immediately after landing, the pilot promptly arranged for the aircraft's refueling, adding 63 liters of avgas. Once the airport charges were settled, the aircraft was parked in the general aviation section for the night. Before setting off for Skukuza for their overnight stay, the pilot, ever meticulous, filed a flight plan. This plan detailed their early morning departure for the next day, December 10, scheduled for 8:30 Zulu. The trio made their way to Skukuza camp, located deep within the Kruger National Park. This tranquil haven, known for its stunning vistas and rich wildlife, is a 2-hour drive away. The next morning, around 6 o'clock Zulu, the 3 friends arrived back at Kruger International, where the pilot conducted a pre-flight inspection and preparing the airplane for the upcoming flight. By 8:38 Zulu, the pilot communicated with the tower, updating ATC on his location within the aerodrome. Given the instrument meteorological conditions declared by Kruger International ATC at roughly 6:15 Zulu within the control zone, the pilot was granted permission for a special VFR flight, allowing him to fly beneath the clouds, adhering to visibility and distance criteria. ATC directed the pilot to climb to flight level 085 after takeoff and to navigate through the special rules area while heading westbound. The pilot acknowledged this directive, and performed a smooth takeoff at 8:51 Zulu. After departing, ATC asked the pilot to report back when 7 miles outbound. As the pilot navigated through the special rules area and ascended as per ATC's guidance, ATC reached out to the pilot to confirm its distance outbound. The pilot, approximately 2 nautical miles from Kruger International, expressed concerns about visibility and proximity to clouds, stating the weather was unfavorable and requested to return to Kruger International. ATC promptly directed him to turn back. However, during his approach, he was asked to hold for about 10 minutes due to other departing traffic. Once clear, he received clearance to land at Kruger International. After touching down at Kruger International, the pilot conveyed his thanks and apologized to the ATC for any potential inconvenience caused. In response, the ATC assured him it wasn't an issue, emphasizing their relief that he was safe on the ground. He then taxied to the general aviation area, after which the trio exited the aircraft and headed to the airport services office on the airside, hoping for better weather. They spent roughly an hour there, waiting for clearer skies. Realizing the weather wasn't improving, they moved to the terminal building for lunch. Around 10:20 Zulu, airport service staff spotted them walking back to the aircraft. The pilot performed a pre-flight check, and soon after, all 3 boarded. Around 10:30 Zulu, once the trio was on board, the pilot communicated with ATC announcing that they are stationed at the general aviation parking, and requesting to proceed as per flight plan, with 3 souls on board and an endurance of 4.5 hours.
Kruger Tower, Oscar Whiskey Bravo, good day. Oscar Whiskey Bravo, good day, go ahead sir. Oscar Whiskey Bravo, parking in general aviation parking. 3 souls on board with endurance of... Oscar Whiskey Bravo, confirm your flight plan reference number sir, and destination. Stand by, Oscar Whiskey Bravo.
Reference number is 648 and destination is Rand Airport. Oscar Whiskey Bravo.
Oscar Whiskey Bravo, copied. Start at pilot's discretion. QNH 1018. Report ready for the taxi. And after the departure, clearance.
By the time of this broadcast, visual meteorological conditions were re-established in the control zone. With the VMC in place, the pilot was granted permission for a VFR flight, allowing him to navigate using visual references to the ground. The shift from IMC to VMC meant the pilot didn't need to adhere to special VFR requirements for this journey. Oscar Whiskey Bravo was then cleared to taxi to the runway, and ATC directed the following: cleared from Kruger to Rand. Post-departure, follow the flight plan, ascend to 7,500 feet, and squawk 6716. The pilot accurately repeated the instructions, and ATC confirmed his understanding, asking him to update his location once 20 miles out. The aircraft departed from Kruger International again at about 10:39 Zulu. During the flight, the ATC realized that the pilot deviated from the flight plan and broadcasted to him as follows.
Oscar Whiskey Bravo, confirm your intentions, sir. Seem to be routing for Nelspruit now.
Affirm, sir. We're going to route to Zanin, in Bombela Stadium. Overhead in Gondwana, and through to Rand.
Oscar Whiskey Bravo, copied, sir.
Tower, Oscar Whiskey Bravo.
Oscar Whiskey Bravo, good morning again. Go ahead, sir.
Oscar Whiskey Bravo, could we request up to 5,500 just to stay below the cloud? Oscar Whiskey Bravo.
Oscar Whiskey Bravo, confirm you will be maintaining 5,500 feet throughout your journey, sir.
We will be maintaining 5,500 until we exit the TMA. And I'll contact Joburg Info for 6,500. Oscar Whiskey Bravo.
Oscar Whiskey Bravo, copied. Report 20 miles from Kruger.
Report 20 miles from Kruger. Oscar Whiskey Bravo.
It was clear that the pilot was navigating through adverse weather conditions at that moment. Around 10:41 Zulu, ATC communicated with the pilot, asking him to relay his current position, which appeared to be roughly 13 nautical miles out. Subsequently, the ATC granted him permission to adjust his altitude as requested and stated,
Oscar Whiskey Bravo, you can descend at pilot's discretion, QNH 1018, broadcast 130.35 for us, 30 miles, 124.8. You can contact Johannesburg information on 127.4 for the climb pass on 6,500 feet or above it.
The pilot's read back to the instruction was again confirmed as right and advised to stay on frequency if he remains below 6,500 feet. The flight continued as per the pilot request until he exited the Kruger International Area of Responsibility. At about 10:49 Zulu, he was handed over to contact Johannesburg information. This broadcast to Johannesburg information was at approximately 10:59 Zulu.
Johannesburg information, Oscar Whiskey Bravo, 5 nautical miles west of Gondwana, 5,800 feet.
This is believed to be the final transmission from the aircraft. At 11:18 Zulu, a report of a possible plane crash was broadcasted on a frequency belonging to the South African Pulp and Paper Industries, a local company in the Gondwana area. Kruger International ATC communicated this information to the Aeronautical Rescue Control Center. At approximately 11:45 Zulu, Kruger International ATC called Johannesburg information to advise them that they received a report of an aircraft that may have crashed and requested an update on the status of Oscar Whiskey Bravo. Johannesburg information indicated that the aircraft tried to contact them at about 11:26 Zulu, but when responded, there was no response from the aircraft. Johannesburg information tried to make contact with the aircraft again, but still no response. At 14:40 Zulu, the ground search and rescue teams located the wreckage of Oscar Whiskey Bravo, approximately 30 nautical miles west of Kruger International, in the Gondwana area at an altitude of 4,724 feet. The grim scene made it heartbreakingly clear that no one had survived, with the aircraft decimated by the initial impact and the ensuing fire. While family, friends, and the aviation community grappled with the tragic loss of 3 young lives, the Civil Aviation Authority of South Africa initiated an investigation. The investigation revealed that the pilot frequently communicated about weather conditions for his return flight to Rand Airport with his parents, the U-Flight Training Academy, and his instructor on the morning before his return flight. Despite receiving advice to wait, he decided to attempt another takeoff shortly after discussing various options with his instructor. A recorded conversation with the air traffic controller also confirmed his concerns about the weather before his second flight attempt. Another significant point of concern was the pilot's decision to alter his flight path without prior communication to the air traffic controller. As the aircraft was en route to Bombela Stadium, just under 10 nautical miles out from Kruger International, the controller noticed the deviation from the planned route. When queried by the controller about his intentions, the pilot confirmed a change in route, intending to fly to Zanin via Bombela Stadium, then overhead Gondwana, and finally to Rand Airport from Zanin. At that moment, he was still on course to Bombela Stadium. The direct flight path from Kruger International to Bombela Stadium and then to Gondwana is in a southwesterly direction. After passing Gondwana, evidence suggests the aircraft made a right turn towards the northwest, likely aiming for Zanin. It appears that the pilot aimed to circumvent the impending overcast weather, leading him to choose the Zanin route to navigate around the hazardous area. Research on the Gondwana area and its surrounding mountains revealed a varied topography. The region consists of low peaks rising to about 2,300 feet, moderate peaks ranging between 2,300 to 4,000 feet, and high peaks reaching between 4,000 to 6,500 feet AMSL. Additionally, the mountainous terrain is known for its unpredictable weather patterns, often characterized by low clouds and reduced visibility, which can differ significantly across different locations on any given day. The pilot's actions during the flight indicate a determination to reach his destination, despite the evident low cloud conditions. Unlike his initial flight, there was no sign of him considering a return due to adverse weather. This behavior suggests he might have been influenced by the perilous get-home-itis syndrome, a mindset where one is fixated on reaching a destination despite potential risks. The investigation determined that the likely cause of the accident was that the aircraft experienced a controlled flight into terrain and crashed into the ground amid cloudy and overcast conditions, attributed to adverse weather. The accident report also put forth several safety recommendations. Addressing the human factors pinpointed in the report, it's advised that the Director of Civil Aviation collaborates with stakeholders to swiftly establish a task force addressing the surge in controlled flights into terrain accidents. In memory of the 3 young lives tragically lost, their legacy serves as a poignant reminder of the importance of continuous learning and vigilance in aviation. May the lessons gleaned from this incident be a beacon, guiding pilots away from the perils of controlled flight into terrain and ensuring safer skies for all. Thank you for watching my channel, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more upcoming videos.